Hey everybody, it's me, Maris, and guess what? It's Friday. That means it's time for an energy forecast for the weekend. And has this energy like been off the chain, off the wall, sometimes off its rocker? I had a crazy beginning of the week. I like cut my finger on an immersion blender, like the little handheld immersion blender. And let me just tell you, those blades are sharp. It hit the bone in my finger. It's almost at a place of healing. Oh my God, it was horrible. Yes, and it was, I was making freaking whipped cream for some strawberries. So I was kind of out of it for a couple of days. But today we're going to do a weekend energy forecast. I am using the Inner Wisdom Compass deck. It is a oracle deck that the Inner Wisdom Compass oracle cards are like a spiritual compass guiding you to explore your inner world. Each card contains unique revelations that can help you solve emotional confusion and point the way in work. So I thought that was kind of cool. They are companions on your spiritual journey, unlocking inner wisdom and illuminating the path of life. So that's the deck that I'm using today. It's my newest deck, or the latest deck. And, I've got my sage burning. So let's go ahead and bless these cards. They're really pretty too. They're really pretty and what's the word? Bright. They're really bright, vivid. Okay, and then I like to always do my hands. There's my little cocoa on my hand there. So we have the Inner Wisdom Compass deck. It is the weekend energy forecast. We've got a couple of things coming up. We got Reiki 1 coming up February 9th. I have a couple of seats left. All the information is on my page, but I will probably repost that. Or I guess, yeah, it is reposted so that you can see. And if you're interested, okay, then we need this. If you're interested in taking Reiki 1, which I call that CPR for the soul, and I think everybody needs to take Reiki 1. It's just kind of like CPR. It's a good way to be able to take care of yourself in the event of imbalance. Okay, well, that card is like, we'll just see what happens, okay? Any other cards for us today? Do we have any more cards? Okay, I guess that one. And anything else that we need to know about? Okay, so I guess universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, has given us a couple little cards to start with. And let's take a look at the weekend energy forecast. Let's flip that screen over. And that first card that we're looking at is the Desperation card. And the little note on here says, never do anything out of desperation, because in doing so, you may never regain your identity or your reputation. The way that I'm going to kind of word this is, don't lower your standards to fulfill the needs of another. Don't lower your standards to fulfill the needs of the other. What I get when I'm looking at this card just by itself is like trying to pick, exactly what they're saying, being desperate, grabbing straws, trying to find that perfect answer or that perfect resolution to things that are going on. Now, the obstacle card here is a card that says to be realistic. And so this is your grounding card. This is saying you need to get back into reality. You need to, I'm going to say calm your energy. Calm your energy. Bring yourself back into a place of balance. De-escalate what's going on around you. Walk away from it. Kind of turn it off. If you're on social media and you're getting angry by the things that you're reading or people are posting or whatever, get off social media. You know, cut it off for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Let it kind of go back into a different balance. Right now, the energy is really chaotic out there on everywhere. You know, I'm like trying to figure out where is a place of peace. And I'm like, I need to go to the parallel forest. Okay, so with that in mind, these cards here, this is, you know, it's saying everything's crazy, but you need to get back into alignment. You need to get back into balance. You need to get grounded, as in, you know, not grounded as in you've been naughty, but grounded as in putting your feet back to the earth, you know. So maybe you might want to kick off those shoes and put your feet on the earth, unless it's super duper cold, you know. I probably wouldn't do that, or muddy, snowy, something to that effect. All right, so the third card, which is our help card, is wisdom. So, and that wisdom card is saying life experiences bring about wisdom. How you decide to use it will lead to your success or your detriment. So when we're looking at this as a whole, we've got desperation that's challenged by something telling you to be realistic, put it back into a sense of reality. And then that wisdom, sit back and really discern what you have going on around you. Again, the energy around us is creating this sense of desperation, pulling at straw, you know, trying to pull straws. I don't want to say nitpick, but it's like trying to find something horrible in every little thing that comes across. That realistic, be realistic, get yourself grounded, ground yourself. It's important to ground yourself. When you ground yourself, you're able to look at things with a much more deeper understanding and greater discernment. And that's where that wisdom, which is your help card, is there. That wisdom kind of plays into that. Okay, so the next card up, we have regret. So this is the second line. This is, the first one is like energy coming in. Where is it going to sit? And I'm going to say here, this is some bitter energy. Bitter energy here. Hey, Liz, how are you? When we're looking at these three cards together, we've got regret upside down, backed up. Liz, if you have time today, go take yourself to the park and go walk at the park. Get yourself into nature. I am a huge fan of kicking off my shoes and sticking them on the ground. Some places it might be a little bit muddy. Is it, if it snowed or whatever, but ground. Matthew was telling me, he said that he took a bath with salt and vinegar, and it really cleared a lot of that kind of funny, negative, yucky energy that he felt like he was carrying or he was experiencing. Now, going back on this energy, so we already know it's chaotic. And the part of that remedy is about cutting yourself off, grounding from it, not getting involved in through there, and looking at things with deeper or greater discernment. And then, so where are we right now? So, and I'm kind of laughing because this card right here, when I'm looking at it, my phrase of "I'm not sorry for what I said" comes up. Okay. Sometimes I can be very, very blunt. I can also, my words can be kind of brutal. And you're like, no, not my Maris. And I'm like, yeah, you're Maris. And in here, what I'm looking at here is that some of us are carrying around a lot of anger. Some of us are carrying around frustration, feeling really, what's the word I want to use? Like there's a lot of difficult energy around them. Okay, so they're feeling suffocated. They're feeling some oppression. They got some anger going on. No matter what they do, they can't move forward. There's a lot of this animosity. Even if it's self-animosity, there's a lot of animosity. And that's what I'm seeing through here. Don't let your personal feelings, your personal experiences jade the way that you look at the world in a whole. Okay? And I'm going to say, I'm going to kind of laugh like this about it. I get to a place where if I've had 5 negative encounters with somebody named Edwin, I probably have this thought in here that Edwin's and I can't get along. Okay? Just because you have a negative experience with something in particular, and it might have happened more than one time, doesn't mean that everybody by the name of Edwin is a bad person. It means that sometimes we cross paths in things that just aren't our vibe. We're not going to connect in with, and that's okay. And so when I'm looking at this baggage and hatred, don't let your hatred of people named Edwin change the way that you connect with the world. Okay, just because you've had negative experiences in something previous doesn't mean that every experience is going to be negative. In that, I'm going to say is that in actuality, when we're faced with those experiences again, I like to look at it as in the universe wants to come through and see if we have grown from who we were, and if we're growing into the person that we agreed to be. All right, so it's important to kind of look at why or what is the reoccurring theme when you keep kind of getting into those places of having to hang out with Edwins, right? Okay. And I don't know anybody by the name of Edwin, and that is why I chose that name. Okay. So our last row here is, so this is where's all this energy going to? So by Monday, we're going to be looking at this. We're going to notice that our intuition is peaking. Peaking as in moving up. It's coming to a full force. It's that time of the season that we start really noticing the not only the synchronicities and what I like to call those, well, isn't that a coincidence? They're not coincidences. It's a part of your intuition. You start waking up and seeing things in a different perspective. Now, when I'm looking at this sacrifice, because it's our obstacle card and this refresh, recharge here, what I'm going to say in through here is that we might be disconnecting. Oh, let me put it like this. Okay, we might be having some issues with people this weekend that, because this energy is really, really kind of strong, really kind of high, very, very chaotic. And in this, I'm going to give you a piece of advice because I'm in here, the sacrifice. It's that sometimes you have to give up something. Don't give up your pride. Don't give up Don't give up personal beliefs that you know are right and that are a reflection of your morals and your heart and your spirit and who you are. Don't give those things up. But in the sacrifice, sometimes that's just not your battle. Sometimes that's just not your battle, and it is okay to walk away from that situation, sacrificing that need to, like in my case, I love to have the last word. Sometimes we don't need to have the last word. Sometimes the best thing that we can do is walk away. And then that last card on that row, that last card right here, is that refresh and recharge. So this is that perfect opportunity, that perfect time for you to step back, to recharge, to ground. Take a moment to feel the sun on your face, wiggle your toes in the grass, and get back grounded. I don't always recommend, I used to always recommend like hugging a tree, something along that lines. And then it was like one day I got like bit by ants, and they were the red ants or something like that. It was like really painful. Not really painful, but it was painful and itchy. And I survived. So, but I probably wouldn't be hugging trees so much, but you can let that sun hit you in the face and get a little Reiki shower in that way. You can ground by putting your feet in the ground, on the ground. There's a million ways to do it. I also like to just sometimes go and play with crystals. I'll go and pick up my crystals and handle them and move them around in my hands. There's a lot of different ways to ground. But it's about getting back into your inner self and into an alignment. And daily you can do that. I have a Reiki 1 class coming up on February 9th. And Reiki, self-treatments of Reiki is a fantastic way to ground as well. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Do me a big favor, share, love it. Share the video with your friends, and let me know what you think. Have you been going through some trials and tribulations, and are you ready to let them go? That's the question. Peace, love, harmony. I hope you have a most fantastic day.